know we have selected a sport or we have guided them towards a particular sport. So how does the training regime begin? So, Dr. Aditi, now that you've worked with para athletes, you work for like rehab, they're sport specific, you guide them towards a specific sport, injury prevention, designing, and even training the program. So, could you shed some light on this with an example from your practice
Yeah,
about a
so
training regime?
example, if we consider cycling, like paracycling, so there are various components. First, individualize like the entire body scan, the musculoskeletal screening is there. Then we need to consider the cycle which they use. Like there are different types of cycles for every discipline. So we have to work on that. Then apart from that, the training part and their own personal injuries. Like for example, like a cyclist for an above knee amputee. So what happens? Few of them do it with the prosthesis. Few of them do it without it. Without it. And two, sometimes like if we don't consider the cycles also, like the seat height or the length and all, what happens? They tend to like incline on one side more to reach out. So what happens? The SI joint and their entire back, cervical, so everything. Whenever you are planning something for a para athlete, as I mentioned earlier, you have to check their own like ongoing injuries, their impairments, then like shortcomings which are already there, like injuries from the past or the sports that they played earlier. A lot of times, what happens like because change in classification categories, their likings towards sports, a lot of them change their sports as well. So again, that example of that visually impaired athlete, what happens? He was earlier with he used to do a lot of discus throw and he was into discus throw, and now he decided he started liking the sprinting part, so he got into sprinting. So the training completely differs because in that sport we had to train him for upper body, while like sprinting has different training like conditioning and everything, like injuries are different. So all that has to be considered.
Athletes liking also matters a lot, and what he wants to do, yes, our protocol is going to be guided in that way. Dr. Abhishek, would you like to add something to this now that you have an experience of training the para athletes for an elite level sport? So how does it differ there?
In athletics there are so many different like events, and
Events.
especially they have different categories. So like in discus, so I had like discus players, javelin player, high jumpers, and with a different, even if there are two high jumpers, they will have different categories, so we can't train in the same manner for both of them.
Right. Some interesting different example of, as Dr. Aditi mentioned, just addition of a small bell on the puppy's collar to
Yeah.
give an
Okay.
auditory. So something like that, which you had to do for a para athlete.
Yeah, I can give about example of a spinal cord injury survivor who was earlier an athlete already, para powerlifter. Now he's I've observed like these people are too dedicated and too disciplined. Okay, so that makes us also work hard for them. Okay, so when I met him like maybe 5 years back, so simultaneously now we have to work for him for his ambulation activity as a neuro point of view to improve his balance. At the same time, we have to work for his upper body also. So in powerlifting, there are different weight categories. So based on that, I have to design his rehabilitation because sometimes when we make him walk, like I have observed, like lot of energy expenditure goes. Then again, I have to juggle out with his weight and then with nutrition coordination, what exercise specifically we should give up and what uh, how many days we should put up in training days to put up in a week. So accordingly, that becomes a challenge in case of spinal cord injury survival.
Have to be alert and keep assessing the patient's needs as well as his targets and his goals, and accordingly keep changing our. So we have to be flexible all the time. Am I right?
we have to see
Absolutely.
what is available. Like for a quadri, if or only one arm is available to work on, we have to work on
Right.
in terms of how we can, like for a discus thrower, his only one arm was effectively working or efficiently working. So
Okay.
I did contrast training. Like contrast training is a very explosive training. So like with heavy lifts, then doing a power throw like that. So doing that and taking care of the energy expenditure as well, because as a wheelchair athlete, he is not that,
Right.
like his energy is so yeah. So taking all the things into consideration, having a teamwork in terms of nutrition psychologist, as well as what all we like the even if one arm is available, we have to work on it, be creative about it, and then work accordingly. And yeah, that's it. That's how it goes.